you even on? Oh. Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. As I'm recording this, it's April 2nd, 2020. We are right in the middle of the social distancing lockdown. Everyone is supposed to be at home, sheltering in place and staying distant from each other. And I know this is a difficult and a scary time for a lot of us. And so I'm beginning with this video. I'm going to do a series on how you can take this very scary time and turn it into a positive. And nearly every spiritual and philosophical tradition has something they call the dark night of the soul, a time when things are just really so hard and so difficult that you're shaken and your worldview is shaken, and it's kind of an earthquake, a cracking of who you are that opens you up to new ideas and new possibilities. And I believe that this could be that for you and I and everyone. That instead of being a time of fear and anxiety and loneliness and separation, this could be a time of rebirth and renewal. And in a video coming up, I think the next video I'm going to shoot will be about my dark night of the soul. It occurred in 1995. I was going through a divorce. Most of you have heard this story sometime. I was going through a divorce. I couldn't afford to live. I was forced into a van. I was at this just incredibly emotional low point in my life. I felt like a total failure. And it was a deep, dark night of the soul. Began to question everything and search for new truth and just say, I give up. I've just failed in life. I need a new way, and open myself up to the possibilities that were before me. I believe this could be the same opportunity for you, for us as a society, but for you as an individual. If you've come to my channel, you're looking already. You have an openness to a whole new idea about how to live. If you are working on becoming a nomad, you're thinking about becoming a nomad, or even if you've started out living the nomadic life, there is an openness in you, a dissatisfaction with the life you've lived, and a changeover to a radically new life. I mean, let's face it. If you're thinking about doing, or you have already done, getting rid of nearly everything you own, leaving the stuff you love behind, and love is the operative word there, leaving that stuff behind, and starting a whole new, scary, trouble life. And you don't know where you're going or what you're doing, but you're going to go find out. And so if you're already open for that, this time, the dark night of the soul could be the perfect opportunity for you. What I'm trying to do is offer you hope. In the middle of this darkness, in the middle of the fear, I mean, think about what you hear every night on the news. You hear a death toll. We're keeping a tally of the dead and the sick. And so it is a frightening time. Will I live through this? What about the economy? What about jobs? What about how will I pay to live? Just when everything is falling apart around you, that's when you have to look for a new foundation to build your life on. And I want to offer that to you in this series, talking about the dark night of the soul. And for a lot of us, it starts with the loneliness. You're physically separated now from much of the world. And if a lot of people are here in the United States some aren't still, but most of us in the United States we're kind of locked in place, sheltering in place, and social isolation, and we're not close to people. And so that creates its own anxiety and its own fear. And I know it does, because it does in me as well. And so this is another way to look at this situation that we find ourselves in, that you can look at it differently and have a different outcome on it. Now, I like to share a quote with you. I love quotes. I don't know if you're aware of that, but I just love quotes. I think they can be life-changing. I want to share a quote with you from Nicole Stephens. She said, "When you find yourself cocooned in isolation and you cannot find your way out of darkness, remember, this is similar to the place where caterpillars go to grow their wings. So in this place of darkness, the dark night of the soul, all the fear and the anxiety and the loneliness, I would like to draw a comparison in this whole series to a caterpillar forming itself in the cocoon, and the loneliness and the pain and the anxiety that that must create in it, however much caterpillars can feel, until it goes on a long time, and it's completely a dissolving of the caterpillar and who the caterpillar is. And it becomes this whole new creature, this beautiful butterfly. And before, it's crawling on the ground and it's just barely getting by, and it's just, it's a creature of the dirt, and it just enduring life. But after this dark night of the soul, this breaking open, this crushing of who and what it is, leaving it all behind and becoming this whole new creature, it becomes this beautiful butterfly, and people admire it, and it travels. And so this is a time for you to break open during this dark night of your soul, to see the isolation as that time. Now is that time in your cocoon when you're about to break open. And I'd like to challenge you. I think of our new life as nomads, whether you're transitioning to it now or you're in it now, that this is adopting a life of adventure. And I hope that it's become that for you. You never know what will happen the next day, and most things will be wonderful, and few things will be bad, and few things will be hard. That's the life of a nomad. And so you've adopted this life of outward adventure and traveling and seeing beautiful things and meeting new people and making these heartfelt connections with one another. I would like you to maybe adopt the idea here of an inward journey of self-discovery. That's what this time can be. And you're being forced into it, aren't you? Circumstances, who could have predicted these circumstances? Take this time and turn it into a journey, an inward journey of self-discovery, an adventure of self-discovery. If you'll do that, this time can be changed from enduring it and, when will this end? I'm so scared, and there's so much going on, and what about my job, and what about money, and will they close BLM land, and will they close the national forest, and where will I camp, and how will I take a shower? And you have a million questions going on in your heart and your mind. But if you will just push all those aside and say, this is a dark night of the soul for me, and I'm going to turn it into an adventure, an inward adventure of self-discovery. I want to look at another quote about butterflies, and I think that's going to be the analogy that we'll use for this dark night of the soul. The moving from the cocoon into the butterfly. And this quote is from a woman named Elizabeth Lesser, and I really love this quote. The great loneliness, she calls it, the great loneliness, like the loneliness of a caterpillar, endures when she wraps herself in a silky shroud, like a death shroud, like a rebirth shroud, and begins the long transformation from chrysalis to butterfly. It seems we too must go through such a time. My friends, I hope this is such a time for you, that you've weaving yourself in kind of this death shroud almost. It feels like, you see people going in body bags. This is just now in the forefront of our minds. People are really dying, and lots of them are really dying. And this could happen to me. It's really unlikely, but will it happen to me? So in this great loneliness, in this great fear, in this really dark night of the soul, now is the time to begin this journey inward and find out a new truth. We too, she says, must go through such a time. She goes on to say, when life as we have known it is over, and it isn't it? Right now, did you ever think you could say this in your life? Life as I have known it is over. There's the life before what's going on with the social isolation, and there's what's going on now. And they're two completely different things. When life as we have known it is over, when being a caterpillar feels somehow false, the old person you have been, now it feels false. It just seems like, oh, that's so unimportant. If you're still in your house and you're still worried about money and things and your stuff, and somehow all of that, the importance of all that just drops off, and you think, my life and the life of my loved ones is on the line here. That's what's important. My whole life was just false. It wasn't important, or it wasn't something I should have been living for. People and connections and living a full life. That is what I should have been living for. That was all just kind of false. And yet we don't know what we're supposed to become. And this is a scary time. And I believe that if you're watching my videos and you've been going to YouTube and watching nomad videos, that's what you should become. That's what this time is for. This opportunity, this dark night of the soul, this breaking of the false self that you've been to become this new self that the universe is calling you to be. A nomad. All we know is that something bigger is calling us to change. And though we must make the journey alone, and even if suffering is our only companion, soon enough we will become a butterfly. Soon enough we will taste the rapture of being fully alive. All I know is that I believe something bigger called me to this life, called me to tell you about this life. And it can be a transformation, a complete rebirth from the caterpillar to the beautiful butterfly. That you can be transformed and know the rapture of being truly alive. That's what's waiting for you. Not just crawling around in the dirt like a caterpillar and living for things and for money and for jobs and for the golden years, which are never going to come. But instead living the life of freedom and travel and adventure and adventure in self-discovery. And that is waiting for you if you'll embrace this time. Now, in my next video, I'm going to talk to you about how I got through my dark night of the soul and what it all meant for me and what I found that got me through it. And I hopefully it'll help you. And if not, it'll hopefully be entertained and you'll know a little bit more about me and who I am. I've never shared this story in a video before, and so this is going to be a first time. But I have an assignment for you. If you are ready to begin this transformation, this adventure of a voyage of self-discovery, I hope you'll consider this assignment that I want to give to you. And like most of the things I do, it's based on a quote. This is a quote from a man named Robert Brault, and it's a suggestion, and it's my suggestion for you. If you're ready to change, if you're ready to begin this voyage of self-discovery, this is a simple thing you can do every day for however long you choose to do it. He said this: every day ask yourself, what would I do today if I were a better person? Ask yourself that every morning, through the day, and every evening. What would I do today if I were a better person? Now, no one gets to define what a better person is except you. What a better person will be different for you. I can't put what was different for me and better for me. I can't put what was better for me on you. Only you can know that. Only you can find that out for yourself. What the universe has called you and made you to be. You have to acknowledge, I could be a better person. And there are those right now who are listening to what I just said and thinking, I don't have to do that. I don't need to become a better person. My friends, we all need to become better people. Believe me, we all need to become better people. We all can be, if we can be, and I believe every human can become a better person, we should be. I ask myself every day, am I a better person today than I was yesterday? And I think if you'll begin that idea, that will begin your premise for the day. I will be a better person today than I was yesterday. And I will know more clearly what it means for me to be a better person today than I did yesterday. And I will strive with all my energy to be that person. And then at the end of the night, ask yourself, every night when you go to bed, ask yourself, was I a better person today than I was yesterday, than I was last week, than I was last month? Am I a better person now that I've began this great adventure into self-discovery? Am I becoming a better person? Am I learning more about myself? If not, what do I need to do? So that's a little assignment if you're interested in beginning this journey of self-discovery, this grand adventure, the biggest adventure of all, discovering who you are and becoming better all the time. If you are, there you go. A simple way to begin and a simple way to go forward. Next video, I'll talk to you about my voyage of discovery and how I go about doing that. I'll give you a little hint. Every night when I go to bed, I ask myself, was I loving and kind towards all today? And if not, do I need to make an apology? Do I need to make a correction? I am a whole lot better person than I was in 1995. And I believe I'm a better person today than I was in 2000. And I believe I'm a much better person today than I was in 2010. And I believe I've made steady progress. And that's all I care about. I'm not ever going to be perfect. All I care about is steady progress. Progress, not perfection. Progress, not perfection. Not perfect, just better. Better. What if you were a better person, what would you do today? If I were a better person, what would I do right now in this situation? My life is full of fear and unrest. If I were a better person, how would I cope with that? What would I do? I hope you'll consider that question. I hope you'll consider this as an opportunity for hope and growth and rebirth, that you can become that beautiful butterfly that you were made to be. Only you can be this butterfly, and only you can make your contribution to the world. I hope you will. Folks, if you got anything out of this video, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you on the next video. See you then.